Eric.
Ryan.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, I feel great. I've never felt more warmly welcomed.
Oh, I'm so glad. We do a new segment on the show. It's called "What is Annoying You Today?" But you have to try and think of the most minor thing that you
like
could
the
be
Larry
annoyed.
David style of living.
Yes.
What is annoying me today? My shoes are not as comfortable as I want them to be.
Oh, that's a really good one. Damn, mine are a little too big for me.
To be honest, it's all I can think about.
Oh my God, that's tough. Because you made that decision when you woke up.
You know
You're
what
like, I'm going to wear these today.
I have a literal pile of shoes from which I pull. I sit down and I consider. I go, First I have to find the sock. And then the sock, if I pair...
First sock.
Once I find the sock, I have to be like, this low-cut sock I have is not the lowest cut sock, so some part of it's going to be visible, so I have to go high top.
Great minor annoyance. It actually reminds me of, I bought 2 packs of the same exact pairs of socks.
Okay.
Or things of socks. And same size and everything. One pack came. They're perfect no-show socks. They fit. They stay on. The other pack, for whatever reason, doesn't even, barely gets around the ankle. But here's the big problem. I cross-pollinated.
Oh, God, no.
I know. So now I go into the sock drawer, grab some
Russian
socks.
roulette.
One's great, one's terrible.
No.
Now I'm searching. Now I'm opening other packs.
Can I tell you what I like most about this story, though, is it reveals to you that in another way, you and I are exactly the same. We're adult men.
Yep.
We don't love shopping, I can assume.
Yeah.
I find one thing that I like and I buy 10 of them.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, cool, a pair of pants. I'm getting 5 more in the exact same. And then somehow when you do that, 3 of them don't work out.
It's the worst. I do feel like one main thing that happens when you get older is once you find things you like, you're like, I'm not changing
All
up
in.
from this ever.
All in. We're going now.
I have a pair of golf shoes I like. They're not made anymore. What the hell am I supposed to do? Wear
Quit
these
golf.
forever?
You're supposed to quit golf.
Okay, well, that'd probably save me time, money, and mental health all at the same time. All right, so today I want to do an exercise with you. Not like I wouldn't make you exercise, but I want to do an exercise where we go through on the DraftKings Sportsbook app a little something called Guess the Future.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm very good at guessing.
Probably should be called Predict the Future.
No, let's go.
All right. So there's a player futures tab here, and it goes through everything of a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to skip maybe we can do this one. Who do you think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play for next year?
I believe Jimmy Garoppolo will play for...
He's demanded he's been given permission by the 49ers to seek a trade.
The thing about the NFL is that trades are so rare compared to the other sports.
I know, but they're not going to hold on to him probably because he's expensive.
Right. Oh my God! So he'll probably play for the Dolphins or something.
Okay. Dolphins is an option here. They're 6th on the list at plus 1,000. Interestingly enough, number 1 on the list is the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh,
Drew Lock,
Geno
Smith, and the Seahawks are saying, fuck it. Let's take Jimmy G.
Man.
I don't think that's happening. The other one is Houston. This one actually makes a bit of sense to me.
Yes, it does.
If Houston wasn't tanking. They're trying to tank, so why would they get their whole team is terrible, so why would they get an average quarterback?
Man, oh wow. The dynamics in the NFL are different than every other league, especially with the quarterback.
It's so weird.
Because if you have a good quarterback, you're suddenly not tanking.
You can't tank with a good quarterback. You can't tank with an above average quarterback.
Right, you're going to go 8-8
Yep.
or 8-9 or whatever you do.
Conversely, you could tank really easily by just having a terrible quarterback. You only have to do one thing.
We've been unintentionally tanking for 3-4 years here. 5 years.
The problem is the Broncos didn't go quite low enough. The highest they ever got was the 5th pick. But if the Seahawks were to just roll with Geno Smith all year, they're winning 3 games.
Bro, oh man, I need Drew Lock to do well.
Just
I need to know for sure that what I see in Drew Lock is real. You know what I mean? Like, I need to, for my own mental sanity, to be able to, and my own confidence in my own ability to scout quarterbacks. I need Drew Lock to do what I believe he is capable of. And if he gets supplanted by Geno Smith, it's going to be a rough time for him. Dude, oh man. Like, I was a big believer in Josh Rosen, so I should already not believe my own takes. But,
yeah, I was too. So.
Okay.
Okay. I never want to think about Drew Lock ever again.
You really ruined our entire life.
He did. He made things not fun. And it wasn't really his fault. Just all the toxicity that surrounded him.
No.
All right. Guess the future, a.k.a. predict the future. Who will have the most passing yards in the NFL this year?
Who will have the most passing yards in the NFL this year? Let's think about this. Who's getting their receivers back? Is DeAndre Hopkins coming back?
Not for a while.
Okay.
In fact, Kyler Murray is like 15th on this list.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Gosh. Maybe. God, who likes to sling it?
I mean, a lot of teams. Chargers, Bucks, Rams, Chiefs, Bengals, Bills,
I think
Cowboys.
Oh, my God. I kind of think it's going to be the Bills.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that because the favorite to win this, I famously am a Justin Herbert denier. Justin Herbert is the favorite to win this.
Really?
At plus 650, which is really low compared to Josh Allen, who is plus 1,200. Almost double the odds on a team. Man. I honestly don't know if they even have running plays in their playbook.
I don't think so either.
Like, they just
and
throw
if they do, they're for Josh Allen.
Right. They're just like, yeah, Josh, just pretend like you're going to pass and then run.
I like it. I like Josh Allen.
I really like it too.
Okay.
Other candidates here, Tom Brady is number 2 at plus 800.
No way.
Surprisingly, he threw for like 5,000 yards last year. No one even cared because he didn't win the Super Bowl, which is like he set his own bar too high. Like a 43-year-old throwing for 40 touchdowns and 5,000 yards or whatever it was. No one cared.
Can't do it.
Patrick Mahomes, of course, plus 800. Matthew Stafford, plus 1,000. Derek Carr, plus 1,000. Joe Burrow tied with Josh Allen at plus 1,200.
Taking Joshy boy.
I like
Taking
it.
him.
Love it. All right. Most passing TDs are pretty much the same conversation. Let's go most rushing yards.
So this is crazy because there is no bigger turnover in the NFL than the NFL running back.
Yep.
Like if you ever have played fantasy football, you know this, that the number one running back that comes off the board is going to have a terrible season.
Oh yeah.
He had a great season last year. Derrick Henry's not going to have a good year this year.
Ooh.
It's not going to be him.
He was hurt a little last year though. It was the year before that he went crazy.
I know, but I just this happens all the time. And you're like as soon as you lock in on like the guy, it's going to be LaDainian Tomlinson. He falls off. It's like, it's going to be whatever. It falls off. Like, it's going to be like Javonte Williams.
Okay, so you bring up Javonte, which is interesting because he's 7th on the list, which I think is astronomically too high. Because I just don't think the Broncos are going to run the ball.
It's possible.
Like, I think that Nathaniel Hackett knows that his number one job is to make Russ happy, and they're just going to go out there.
You're probably right on this.
So the favorite is Jonathan Taylor. He did it last year. Mostly, I thought, because Derrick Henry was injured. Derrick Henry right after him at plus 650. Jonathan Taylor's plus 450. And then it goes Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon.
The thing is that like last year, nobody knew who Jonathan Taylor was. It's like a guy that comes out of nowhere always.
Yeah, I mean,
this is just how it is with running backs in the NFL. It makes no sense.
So I would go Derrick Henry.
Well, I mean, that's what conventional wisdom would be, to take the most hulkingly large, like confusingly fast, now healthy Derrick Henry, which for some reason, the crazy thing about Derrick Henry is that he wasn't dominant out of the gate.
No, they didn't really know how to use him when Marcus Mariota was the quarterback. And like looking back, they probably could have done Marcus Mariota a huge favor by just handing it to Derrick Henry every time. And that's what I think is the thing here. Like the Titans traded away A.J. Brown, which I always thought was weird. And so now they've lost, in my opinion, their best passing weapon. They had Julio last year. They thought they were going to throw it. Didn't work out. This year, I think they're just going to be like, fuck it. Just give it to Derrick every play.
I mean, first off, I just wouldn't bet on this because I feel like there's just too much up in the air with NFL running backs. But like, if gun to my head, I would take Derrick.
What's hard for me is like, Maybe Nick Chubb at plus 1,000 is a good bet just because we don't know who the Browns quarterback is going to be. So maybe they run the ball more. But like as you go past that, none of these teams are running teams. Dalvin Cook, like, every year, Kirk's putting up crazy passing stats. Najee Harris, I guess he's going to get the ball up, but he averaged under 4 yards per carry last year. Joe Mixon, he's on the Bengals. Like, they're going to let Burrow do whatever he wants.
I kind of like Najee Harris.
I could see it.
I can see that.
Especially if they're going to go with Pickett, which I don't know if they're going to do off the bat. They're going to go with Trubisky off the bat, which don't you have to be good as a team to run the ball well? Like, that's why I'm just like, I think the Titans are just good enough to like win 9 games and just hand the ball to Derrick Henry.
I would take Najee. That's my pick.
All right, there you go. Let's move on to receiving. Who is going to lead the NFL in receiving yards? Famously, Cooper Kupp last year led in yards, receptions, and touchdowns.
It's going to be him again.
Okay.
It's absolutely going to be him again.
So, crazy enough, he's not the favorite. Justin Jefferson, the favorite at plus 800, which is kind of sad because he was drafted after Jerry Jeudy. Cooper Kupp right behind at plus 900. Jamar Chase right behind that at plus 1,000. Devontae Adams at plus 1,200. That's where I think the competition kind of ends. Yeah. CD Lamb, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill. But I think it's that someone in those top 4. Jefferson, Kupp, Chase, Adams. If I were to pick, I would pick Jamar Chase.
Yeah, man. I mean, you want to talk about a team coming in with some supreme confidence. Like, even though they lost the Super Bowl, it was like they weren't supposed to win. They shouldn't have been there in the first place. Like, when we met the Bengals late in the year, it was like I remember listening to whoever you guys had come in or somebody. I heard Bengals people talking about like how disappointing this team was. They're up, they're down. Like, we don't know who this team is, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like all of a sudden they just figured out exactly who they were. And they just became like such a overachieving squad. Like, but that connection between Burrow and Jamar Chase is like so lethal. And now they're going to just like have that confidence level all year long. Like, dude, I'm with it.
That's my thing. And I just think Joe Burrow, his swagger is so contagious.
I'm a little infected myself.
Yes, I am too. The one I look at here is Devontae Adams just reuniting with Derek Carr. Like, this was something that this has NBA written all over it. This is like banana boat level shit. Like, these two were best friends in college. They were roommates.
Banana boat.
They, have talked about playing together in the NFL forever.
Yes.
And apparently they moved, like, Devontae Adams bought a house literally right next door to Derek Carr.
Yeah, that's like weird though, right?
It's like a sitcom.
Would you buy a house next to Brandon?
No.
Okay.
Did he buy John Gruden's house?
I don't know. Maybe. I'd buy a house next to a lot of people. Why'd you have to choose Brandon?
Quarterback, wide receiver, man.
I feel like if I know anything about this office, I would just be able to hear all of Brandon's conversations.
It'd be tough
from just across the yard.
I don't think he'd be a great neighbor.
You don't think his neighbors like when we're out on his porch on Sunday night at like 1 a.m. drinking whiskey, blasting rap, and talking shit?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, I have a feeling they probably don't like that either. Okay, let's go. Rookie futures, nah. Most sacks.
Ooh, most sacks. So, who are the favorites on this? Give me some of the...
So, TJ Watt is the defending champ on this and defending Defensive Player of the Year. Myles Garrett is who everyone wants to be as good as TJ Watt. Nick Bosa, back healthy. Joey Bosa, right next to him. Chandler Jones, and then Trey Hendrickson, actually, of the Bengals right after that. To me...
I'd roll favor on this.
I cut it off after the top 3: TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa.
I would take TJ. They're gonna be, the defense is gonna be on the field a lot for them.
That's true, but they aren't gonna have as many leads.
Right? Do you get a tee off? But he's teeing off every time anyway. Right? Like, he's not really dropping back into coverage that much, is he?
No, never. But I just mean like our team's going to be able to run the ball against them more so that he doesn't have as many sack opportunities.
Possible.
He's just so good, man.
But Ben Roethlisberger was like not having a quarterback last year anyway.
It's true. Maybe Pickett catches fire for them.
Such small hands.
Miles Garrett, so he was rated higher than TJ Watt in Madden. This was a big thing that we talked about. It's like, how? TJ Watt's just better than him just because Miles Garrett is probably the most physically imposing person.
Saw him at Summer League.
He's huge.
I got to say, he was not as big as I was expecting. He's very wide.
You're around all 7-footers.
You're right. You make a fine point. It's hard to recover from that point. But all the same, I just thought in the same way that all the 7-footers looked like they weren't human beings.
Yeah.
He was just so wide.
Well, that's what's jarring about him.
Yeah.
Is his shoulders are like
very wide.
A couch width.
Very couch width wide. I couldn't agree with you anymore.
But he's not as good as TJ Watt. I think you roll favorite here. I mean, you're getting plus 600.
Got to roll favorite
on that one. I like this one. Who's going to throw the most interceptions in the NFL this year?
Oh no. Is Drew Lock the favorite?
Drew Lock, I don't even think it's on the list.
Really?
It's like he's not playing. Actually, Drew Lock and Geno Smith are both tied at plus 2,500. So they're way down the list.
Really?
I think it's because
they're not going to get the playing time.
Right, they think they're probably one of them's going to start.
If you
get
start to
benched for the other
lead
one.
that conversation of the most interceptions, you're getting benched if you're Drew Lock. You're not getting the.
That's true. Yeah, the guys at the top of this list are young guys.
Like, could it be Patrick Mahomes potentially? Like,
no.
Could it be Justin Herbert? Could it be Kenny Pickett?
So the guys at the top of the list are all 4 second-year guys. Just because it's like the teams are still committed to them, but they might suck.
Yep.
So Zach Wilson is number 1 at plus 800. Trevor Lawrence is number 2 at plus 1,000. Justin Fields is number 3 at plus 1,000. And then Davis Mills, who is going to start for the Texans, who some reason Henry loves, I hate.
He loves Davis Mills?
Big Davis Mills guy. And like, I do this thing where I overproject based off of whenever I see a player play CU in college.
Yeah.
Like whatever I see that, I'm like, that's it.
Yep.
And he was terrible against the Buffs. The Buffs won, so I was like, this guy sucks. Meanwhile, like, who's an example? Usually they actually are really good. Like AJ Green, when he was at Georgia, that played the Buffs, and I was like, this guy is the most incredible person I've ever seen. He had this one-handed catch in like the back corner of the end zone. I was like, yeah, it's over. But we won the game actually.
Oh, okay. Everyone won that day.
So yeah, if I had to pick, I would go Mills at plus 1,000. But it's like, is he too safe with it? Does he like Zach Wilson is just playing?
Zach Wilson feels very juicy.
He has no pressure behind him.
Oh my God.
So maybe he just lets it fly.
Does he let it? Golly, wow.
By the way, your boy Josh Rosen just signed with the Bears.
Let's go.
Sorry, the Browns.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. This is his 6th NFL team.
Dude, when you're
He's
right,
drafted
you're
the
right.
same
I
year
was
as
like, this
Bradley
guy's
Chubb.
an NFL player. And I couldn't, how more right can you be than a guy that plays on 6 teams? That is a bona fide NFL player.
It's true. He played in the NFL.
For six teams agree that he's good enough to play.
I'll never forget when Von Miller watched the tape and then came to the podium that week and said, we're going to beat their ass.
And he was right.
And he was very right. And Josh Rosen got like broken in half in that game.
Tough times for him.
I loved him too. He was so
He had a great deep
decisive
ball.
and all
Great
this stuff.
deep ball.
And people were like comparing, people that I knew that knew him were like comparing his brain to Peyton Manning.
Oh my God.
And
just the comedic side though.
and he just didn't give a fuck. That was like one thing. It's like one of those things I'll have to think about every time I ever scout a player again. Is like, he made it very clear that he like didn't necessarily love football. And
that's what it is. Every time there's like some player that's like, oh, he doesn't like the sport. We're like, it's fine.
It's fine. He's really good at it.
Turns out it matters.
Yeah, but like then you're like, well, Jokic. I mean, how much does he really love basketball?
Great point. There's a lot to process here.
Yeah, there's always an exception to the
always
rule.
a counterpoint.
All right, we're going Zach Wilson on that one. Although I think Trevor Lawrence could pull it off.
Very sneaky pick there.
And this one's not even really worth going through. Most tackles, the favorite's Roquan Smith. Pretty heavy favorite. Behind him, Bobby Wagner, Jordan Brooks, Fred Warner, Foyesade Aluakun.
I don't know. I have no thoughts on this.
I didn't think you would. All right. Well, that was fun.
That was fun. I feel better.
We know exactly what's happening in the NFL this year
You
now.
have to fade Zach Wilson. That's what we've learned.
Poor Zach Wilson.
R.I.P., bro.
He's just never been the same since he left the Cougars.
Oh, boy. Wow. Holy smokes.
All right, let's give a shout out to
He never did.
Maybe he never left it at all. All right, shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook, where you can bet on all this stuff and so much more. And you can get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 when you use the code DNVR at sign up. That means you can bet $1,000 on Zach Wilson to lead the league in interceptions at plus 800. If you're right, $8,000 in your pocket. If you're wrong, they'll just give it right back to you in the form of free bets. So you could bet on other things.
Sure.
Like Zach Wilson to lead the league in interceptions next year.
For the Broncos to win the Super Bowl. Things like that.
I think that's 14-1 right now. 14 G's.
Let's go.
But either way, get over to DraftKings. Use that code DNVR when you sign up. Of course, you must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Bonus comprised of first deposit bonus, first bet match, each of $500. Deposit bonus requires a 25x playthrough and restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
0-0.
All right, we did a reverse show today. That was our dilemma of the day.
Woo!
Now
It was barely a dilemma. We cruised right through that.
That's true. You can't affect us. Nothing slows us down. All right, let's go to our big threes here. We'll stay on the NFL theme and go to mine. I went through and picked my 3 favorite-ish futures. Totals, whatever, futures, all of that stuff. First one, Jerry Jeudy, over 72.5 receptions.
Ooh, boy. Wow.
That's an average of 4 per game. Now,
man, Jerry Jeudy.
I'm projecting a little bit here because this is a boomer bust, literally, year for him. If he doesn't hit this year, he's a bust.
I can't believe that's minus 120.
Well, he factors to be the most Tyler Lockett-like of the Broncos receivers.
To be.
Yes.
Factors to
I know. And so I'm rolling the dice here. But if you remember, before he got hurt in game 1 last year, he was on pace for a monster game. He was already over 100 yards. I think he already had 4 or 5 receptions, maybe 6. And that's why I think he's going to have like at least maybe 3 or more 10-plus catch games where he just has the matchup and Russ is like, I'm going to just keep going to you every play.
I mean, it like logically makes sense. Like Jerry Jeudy gets better separation immediately than anybody. He's got his hips don't lie. I don't know if you know this about
They
him.
never lie.
They don't lie. But he just like he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he is the most like shifty.
Yeah.
And Russell Wilson is a very decisive passer
And precise.
and very precise.
And that's the thing is like I just think there will be games where Jerry Jeudy goes bonkers because the other team can't cover him and Russ just keeps finding him. So this is one of those ones that's like it might by week 6 you might be saying like I'm an idiot because Jerry
I say
Jeudy's,
that every year by week 6.
but like it's because Jerry Jeudy's maybe he's like has Josh Rosen syndrome. He just doesn't care.
Oh my god.
Or by week 6 you might be saying like, oh well, I need 4 catches next week to beat this.
Yeah. Listen, I like it. I hate those odds though.
Yeah,
for such a dice roll. But it does feel like it's going to be decisive.
The Broncos receivers got the second most separation per play.
The logic is airtight.
Yep.
I just they need to give you more because there is an element of faith in here that they're not rewarding.
All right, I got to pull up a stat here before I go to my next one. Aaron Rodgers stats. So my next one here is Aaron Rodgers under 7.5 interceptions. Now that sounds insanely low, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
But let me take you through Aaron Rodgers every season since 2016. 7 interceptions, 6 interceptions, 2 interceptions, 4 interceptions, 5 interceptions, 4 interceptions.
He had a season where he threw 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions, yes. And he threw for 4,400 yards that year.
2 interceptions?
What's funny is the year before he was hurt, he threw for 6 in less games. But 25 touchdowns, 2 interceptions that year. The next year, 26 interceptions, 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Enter Nathaniel Hackett, 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, followed by 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He hasn't had more than 7 interceptions since 2015. By the way, the 2 years before that, 5 and 6. So not since 2010 has he even had double-digit interceptions. And one time since 2013 has he ever gone over this number of 7.5.
What do we do? Does his man bun factor into this anyway?
He's like Josh Rosen if Josh Rosen was actually good.
He is like Josh Rosen. If every good quarterback is like Josh Rosen, if Josh Rosen was actually good.
I just mean he doesn't. I don't think he loves football all that much.
Does his clear love of golf now interfere with his quarterbacking?
So there's something called the handicap touchdown index.
Oh, okay.
And the lower your handicap in golf, the more touchdowns you throw.
But how does it factor in with the interceptions?
That is true. I think it's all about precision. I think it's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Listen, I love it.
You ever seen someone catch a golf ball off the face? He's not throwing any interceptions on the golf course.
That's a great point. I can't believe the juice is so low on this also, but I guess the numbers don't lie. These are mathematicians we're up against. Okay, listen, a great bet.
All right. Finally, Houston Texans, fewest regular season wins of anyone in the NFL.
Tanking, as you say.
Yes, they are full tank. I knew that as soon as they announced Davis Mills as their starting quarterback.
But I heard from Henry. He's a fantastic quarterback.
Yeah, same. Where did it go? Team
Plus
futures.
275.
I want to see the other people who are in this, just to kind of compare and contrast. Team futures, regular season win. Oh my God, I've ruined it. Regular season wins. There we go. Oh, that's not the right one. Anyways, I'm pretty sure the Seahawks were second place on this.
All right, man. Poor Seahawks.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, they have to be tanking too, though. The second that you trade Russell Wilson, you're saying, like, okay, well, we have to start a whole new era.
I just love that the Broncos are the reason that the Seahawks have imploded. That Super Bowl loss was one of the worst things that's ever happened to the city of Denver.
That's a really good point.
It is so beautifully poetic that it is at the hands of the Denver Broncos and specifically our brand new general manager, George Payton, comes in like guns blazing and just takes down one of our greatest spiritual enemies right off the bat. It just, he's already done so much for me. I love him so much.
He really did. And I love that Seahawks fans are like really salty about this.
Oh, they hate Russ now. It's
yes.
beautiful.
It's so great. And like they keep saying like, just wait. You're going to realize that he doesn't do this and do that. And I'm like, just wait, bro. Your quarterback is Drew Lock.
There's nothing better than this is you get to say your real feelings about everything without having to be blinded by your love of the Denver Broncos. Now, you really get to tell, both sides get to say what they really think about the quarterback. It's beautiful, is it not? We obviously won this exchange. I mean, screw you, Seahawk fans. I hope that you never get back up off the canvas.
I also really did believe in Drew Lock.
I still do, man.
Point.
I still do. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't want to talk about it though. It's gonna ruin this episode.
How can I not find what I was looking for?
Have you used this app before?
Did I actually just make up the most?
If I were a handicapper, here's what I would do.
Why wouldn't it be under team futures? Maybe they took it down because they knew that my bet was so good.
That's probably it. The power of your bet was just disrupted the internet.
We move lines around here.
Wow. We move mountains and lines.
I was just there.
Yaya found it pretty quickly.
Player totals, season specials. I was on team specials. Okay, fewest wins. Actually, not the Seahawks in second place. The Falcons in second place with Marcus Mariota as their starting quarterback. Followed by the Seahawks, then the Jets and Bears and Jags. By the way, I have a pizza bet with Zach.
Do these pizza bets ever get paid?
Yes.
Really?
One thing that we're trying to focus on this year, though, is that we go to pizza together. So it's like a win-win.
No one loses. Everyone wins. But the winner gets to choose the pizza restaurant.
To this point, Zach's just Venmo'd me $20.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's not.
That doesn't even cover tip, Zach. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, I don't go to a sit-down pizza restaurant. I go to
You like Pizza Hut in the 80s?
I go to Sexy Pizza, maybe mix in some pizzeria locale.
Okay, all right. Sexy Pizza. Shout out Sexy Pizza.
Big shout out Sexy Pizza. Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't like the Falcons, so maybe it's
Who
the
likes
Seahawks.
the Falcons, dude?
No one. One of our 3 victims in the Super Bowl. I like them for that. So yeah, there's my big 3. Let's go to Eric's.
Pretty good. So you went to your old standby, the
Yes.
NFL. I'm going to go to my old standby, the NBA, and specifically the Denver Nuggets.
Love them.
I gave Yaya the 3 picks that I myself have already bet. These are 3 futures that I myself
Already
am an
taken.
owner of. I have bet. So I'm a big believer in the Denver Nuggets, not only because I've completely rearranged my life around the Denver Nuggets, and everything I do now has some trace of the Denver Nuggets on them. I actually believe in them very strongly. I tell the story all the time. I used to be as into the Colorado Avalanche as I am currently into the Denver Nuggets. Now I'm back into the Avalanche as I once was, but like not to the degree of the Denver Nuggets have seeped into my heart and into my soul. Nikola Jokic is truly my king.
I have to say, like, parents always tell you they love all their kids the same.
Yes.
And I've always believed that was
Yes.
a lie. But when it comes to Denver sports, I love all of my children the same.
Yes. Oh, I see.
Yeah, like I'm
You
different.
really do. I do too, but I don't favor one, but I do.
You feel it.
I don't place one above another, but I do.
It's
You know
just
what I mean? Like
one of your kids is a better hang.
such a good hang, dude. Like one of my teams has the top human being on it.
I think that's my favorite tweet ever, which is like, we always talk shit about deadbeat parents, but we never asked if the kid had bad vibes.
There's so many
the
kids
best
have
tweet
bad
ever.
vibes. So anyway, I believe. Okay, so the Nuggets are in the Northwestern Division in the NBA, and the Northwestern Division has fallen on some hard times. The Oklahoma City Thunder are tanking.
When do they stop? How long can one tank?
Before you just are a tank,
Yeah.
before you just are garbage. I don't know. They're in that threshold.
Okay, all
but
right.
they have stockpiled a disgusting
At
number
least
of
they got
picks.
Josh Giddey out of
They
it.
have Josh Giddey. They got Chet Holmgren this year.
Yeah.
They actually have like a pretty interesting team brewing, but they're tanking. The Utah Jazz are imploding. What's
yeah.
going on in Utah? I'll tell you what, the Utah Jazz are selling off their team. They realize that they're not going anywhere. The Portland Trailblazers did this last year. They added Jeremy Grant, but they still are the same flawed squad. They're the flawed squad.
Jeremy Grant was destined to be a Portland Trailblazer. Like when I see him, I'm like, that guy would look right in a Portland Trailblazers uniform.
Yeah, black and red, like a villain.
Yeah.
The only squad that we really have to look at now, seriously, is the goddamn Minnesota Timberwolves, who took goddamn Tim Conley from us and then just got Rudy Gobert to double down on their loathsome center index. They have Cat and Rudy Gobert together, which is either going to be unstoppable or a disaster. I have no idea which. But the Nuggets are, with the reemergence of Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., are poised to make some serious noise this year.
When's the last time the Twin Towers thing worked out? Like Tim Duncan and David Robinson?
Man, did I almost make a joke that would end this network.
Oh, Jesus. Like, God damn it.
It never works out. It's a flawed premise. Like
It
Jokic
really
and Nurkic should have been the
Remember
one that worked
AD
out.
and Boogie?
It just
That's
doesn't
the last
work.
time someone tried it, I'm pretty sure. And they were like,
Yeah.
and then someone was like, hey, we should stop doing this.
Tim
It
Conley's
fucking
like,
sucks.
what if we trade every pick we have for the next decade to try this again?
I'm sure you guys have talked about this a lot on your show. I just imagined that Tim was like, look, Cat has no shot against Jokic. So we have to bring in someone who can at least put up a fight against Jokic.
Yeah. But Jokic cooks Rudy Gobert.
He cooks everyone.
But he cooks Rudy Gobert now.
The only person he didn't
That
cook.
was the brother, I have 48.
Yes.
That was against Rudy Gobert.
Like, the only person he didn't cook was Draymond for 2 games.
And DeAndre Ayton, who the Suns wanted to get rid of.
That's true.
Idiots. Anyway, so the only thing I don't love about this futures bet is that the juice is not that sweet, because it does feel like a little bit like a fait accompli.
So this is one of those ones, in my opinion, you got to put like 10 units on it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to wait all year to get it. You want it to be a joyous day Yes.
when it comes around.
You're not putting $20 to win 10.
All right, so Nuggets division winner. That one feels good. Here's a feel bad one. You like feeling bad. I know this about
Yes,
you.
I do.
Kevin Durant. Which team will be the team he plays for next season, the first game? I have bet the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, wow.
I don't
That
think
doesn't make me feel bad.
I think that I'm just betting up and talking about KD.
Yeah.
I just don't think that there is a suitor out there currently that can get the deal done to the degree that they want. And at a certain point, they're just like, Kevin, just play the goddamn game, man. Like, I just feel like the window of time is closing on this. The Suns effectively took themselves out of this competition by re-signing Ayton because now he can't be traded until January. They could they could revisit this trade in January, but not until. But he also now has a no trade clause. That DeAndre Ayton was the big piece in that Suns trade, which supposedly is the place he wants to go. So I just feel like it's going to be.
Does he just really like Chris Paul and Devin Booker?
He just likes what he perceives the shortest distance to a championship. They're the closest.
I thought you were going to say like shortest distance to Vegas or something.
It's possible.
Gosh. So I was very like pro player empowerment era when it first started.
You're like, okay.
Now the fact that I like don't even know where star players are
Terrible.
makes it kind of rough. Like James Harden has played on like 4 different teams.
What does it even mean to have a favorite player on a team? You know what it means? Nikola goddamn Jokic.
Yeah, we're so
that dude. If you want to understand like why you should place all of your love and all of your adulation towards Nikola Jokic, it's that exact reason. He is not interested in ruining the NBA the way every other superstar is, and he's a back-to-back MVP. He's the best player in the league.
That's so good.
He's the best.
So great.
He's the best.
Also, like the Avs also have this thing going where like they all just want to be together,
Yes.
stay together, and it's just like, oh, this is great.
Kadri, come on, like it's only money, bro. Come on, be cool.
I think
Just
he's
be
just.
cool.
I think what he's actually doing is like giving the Avs time.
Oh,
Like the Avs are like, look, man, we can't afford you.
but let me see if we can move some things around.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, I'm in no rush. So just do what you got to do. I think that's what's happening.
Who knows? Who knows?
Avs fans are funny because they love every player.
Yes.
Like wholeheartedly love every player. Like I
Yes.
still see posts being like, I'm so sad that Tyson Jost wasn't on the Stanley Cup team. It's like
He put up some real stats on the Eagles.
I have a very different feeling about that. I'm of the mind of every move that happened before the Stanley Cup had to happen
Yes.
to win the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
So I put everything in the past.
Yes.
But like it came up like, oh, they might have to trade Sam Girard to keep Kadri. People are like, no, you can't trade Girard. It's like,
You're
I
like,
think you can.
can't you? It's like,
But at the same time, I personally believe everyone on the Avs that isn't a top tier talent is replaceable by Joe Sakic.
Couldn't agree more.
Kadri is not a top tier talent.
You are
Kadri
doing
is
this
an
thing
absolutely
where you're
top-tier
overthinking hockey.
I'm not.
He puts the biscuit in the basket.
Biscuit
my
in the
guy.
basket in the biggest stage, bro.
I don't know, man. I just wouldn't trade
You're listening to too much AJ and Rudo being like, I just don't know if that year is replicable. Maybe it isn't. He's still way better than Sam Girard right now.
It is, but also you got to keep your defensive core, which is a lot harder to get than forward.
No, get lost. You got to keep Kadri.
Joe Sakic will
Biscuit
just pull some
basket.
shit out of his ass. Some guy will be an all-star.
Biscuit in the basket, baby. And that leads me into my third pick. I bet this a long time ago. I think everyone else should bet this. I'm betting the Nuggets to win the NBA championship.
Let's fucking go.
I know that this is a long shot. DraftKings knows that this is a long shot. Everybody listening knows that this is a long shot. That's why they are giving you plus 1,600 odds. Sounds insane because we're talking about a team that's never even really come close to winning the championship. They've never been to the big dance before. But Nikola Jokic has been allowed to play essentially by himself for 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
He has achieved heights we've never seen in the city before. And he has been able to drag essentially a dead squad with him into the playoffs valiantly and gotten them just as far as they could go. This year, we are getting back Jamal Murray. We are getting back Michael Porter Jr. Our reports are telling us both players are at 100%. They are ready to go. We are adding Bones Highland year 2.
Year 2, yeah.
We are bringing in an absolute number 1 glue guy in the NBA in Bruce Brown. Calvin and team, Calvin Booth, Tommy Bracelets, Tommy Balchettis, our man, have made some pretty bold moves this offseason. They got rid of Will Barton in favor of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, who should give us better defensive prowess on the perimeter, which was the Nuggets' downfall.
Yep.
The Nuggets
and Bruce Brown brings the same thing.
The Nuggets have improved in every area of their team,
roster.
And it really just comes down to the health of those two players, MPJ and Jamal Murray. They're absolutely good enough to win a title. Everything comes down to luck in a lot of ways, particularly when it comes to the health of this squad. But sprinkle that, man. Just at least sprinkle that. Like,
I'm putting it into, and what's interesting is the Broncos are exactly the same, plus 1,600.
Yep.
I feel like there's some good juju there.
Yeah, think about that. Think about if you're just a Broncos guy, how good do you feel about the Broncos' chances right now? DraftKings views those at the exact same as the Denver Nuggets.
100%. And I would say there's this actually seems like something an NFL guy would say that isn't true, but like it feels like there's more parity in the NFL. Like I'm super afraid of another Warriors dynasty.
Yes.
But at the same time, because I think they just like broke basketball.
They did break basketball by being too good, yes.
Yes. I also think the Nuggets have a legitimate chance here. And one thing that I think isn't talked about enough, we can talk about Jamal's skill and what MPJ brings and all this stuff a million times over. I don't think it's discussed enough that Jamal is that guy. Like,
he's that dude.
You have to have an asshole on your team to be
You
great.
have to have an asshole on your team. I'm that guy on this team.
like Nathan McKinnon is that for the Avs.
Yes, he's such an asshole. So is Kadri.
Yeah, and he's like the like enforcery, like I'll lay you out, but like just someone who's just like goes out there and is just like fuck everyone else.
Yes, I love it.
And that we've missed that for 2 years.
Yes,
Jokic is like, oh, I love everyone. You also all suck.
Dude, the thing about the Nuggets are...
And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's just like he's not going out there being like, I'm going to kill you people tonight.
The Nuggets are as Jokic are. Oftentimes teams take on the personality of their best player. Mm-hmm. The Nuggets are quiet until they snap.
Yeah, totally.
They're like.
But I think Jamal changes that. I think Jamal
has that in him. He's got that dog in him.
He has that dog in him. But literally, I just think he changes the complexion of the team. But when he's on the court, like he's full of fuck you, and I love that about him.
He is chock full of fuck you. Absolutely.
I just think that's something that they've missed for 2 years. Like we know that Jokic is a dog in his own right. It's just a very different style.
Yeah, he's got that dog in him. Simply put, everyone knows exactly what we mean when we say that. Yep. He's just, Chet, as you know, he's got that dog in him.
He just simply does. So I guess the Broncos Nuggets parlay is going to pop off.
Oh, yo, how can... RK, always a page ahead. I didn't even put that together yet.
Broncos, Nuggets, Avs. Might as well throw
Oh, my God, dude. If we... wow. I wouldn't even allow myself the dream of that. That's on the goddamn table.
It is on the table. And we leave you with that with that thought. This has been fun. Appreciate you, E. Thanks, Yaya. Great having you back in studio. And we'll catch you tomorrow on DNVR Bets Daily.
Look.